The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. That very day, the first day of the week, 2 of Jesus' disciples were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus, and they were conversing about all the things that had occurred. It happened that while they were conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near and walked with them, but their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing as you walk along?" They stopped, looking downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, said to him in reply, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place there in these days?" And he replied to them, "What sort of things?" They said to him, "The things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, how our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. And besides all this, it is now the 3rd day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of those with us went to the tomb and found things just as the women had described, but him they did not see." And he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are! How slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" Then, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them what referred to him in all the scriptures. As they approached the village to which they were going, he gave the impression that he was going on further. But they urged him, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening and the day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. And it happened that while he was with them at table, he broke bread, said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that, their eyes were opened and they recognized him, but he vanished from their sight. Then they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he spoke to us on the way and opened the scriptures to us?" So they set out at once and returned to Jerusalem, where they found gathered together the 11 and those with them who were saying, "The Lord has truly been raised and has appeared to Simon." Then the 2 recounted what had taken place on the way and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. This morning I want to talk about 3 different things. I'm going to go from probably less important to more important, which means I'll talk about our readings last, because that is most important. First, it's been about 9 months, coming on 10 months since I've been here, and it's been a wild ride, but it's been great, wonderful getting to know so many of you and all the beautiful things that we're doing here at the parish. In the midst of that, the Archdiocese approached us sort of with a proposal about joining in with, they call it a mission support center. The Archdiocese recognized in the last few years that the world has changed a lot, and it's becoming more and more difficult for parishes to make sure all of the important things that need to be done get done. A lot of the hidden stuff that is very similar to any business that needs to get things done. So make sure HR is done just correctly, and it's far more complicated now than it was in the past. Accounting, make sure all of that is getting done. Communication with all the social media and stuff. Schools have different challenges now to run that they did in the past, so make sure that they have a good foundation behind the scenes to make sure that they could be successful and last for the long term. and on and on. So what they've started up, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, of joining sort of 5 different parishes, for us it'll be parishes with schools, and having a team of specialists in different things. And each of the parishes then, in a sense, sort of buys into a portion of that person's time. And after discussing this with multiple people in the parish, the staff, our deacons, the parish finance council, the school advisory committee, what used to be called the mission advancement team, sometime I'll have to explain more about that. I'm calling it a parish leadership team because that makes a little bit more sense to me, and others, and other pastors, things like that. I decided to enter into this and see how they can help us out. So we're one of 5 parishes with schools that are part of this team, and we have roughly 20% of the time of about 12 people that are specialists in different things. And this allows them to really go deep into the field that they're comfortable with and really enjoy, rather than what has to happen in lots of businesses and lots of parishes. There's one person and they wear like 5 different hats. Okay, do this, and this. And don't make any mistakes because the federal government may get really upset. Go, kind of thing. So our business manager for the last 20 years, Anna, she's been very good. She's done a lot of this, but she's also noticed that she's getting more and more stressed about all of the new things that keep getting piled on that have to be done very precisely and by a very particular time, along with everything else. So as we're bringing them on, we're not getting rid of anyone. That's not the purpose of it. And I made that clear to the staff that we're not pushing anyone out. We'll work with everyone here, but it allows us and the staff that we do have here to spend more time doing things, connecting with people and the parishioners and helping the mission of the parish be successful by taking care of some of the minutiae and important little details that go on behind the scenes. You won't be seeing a huge difference or anything. I think we'll be able to do a little bit better with some communications going forward. You'll start to see some of that. Part of the team works with the school to help with enrollment and marketing of the school and finding good staff for the school, that kind of thing. If you have any questions about it, because it is kind of a strange thing, if you have any questions about it, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about that. Second thing about our parish, as I've been here, I've heard from many people just how wonderful the parish bazaar was for so many years. I have not yet come across anyone who said, I want to help bring it back. So, it's not coming back. Sorry. But we did have our parish picnic. We had a pause for a little while, and then it came back last year. And I thought it was fantastic. I was thrilled to see it just the second month I was here. And it went off with, it sounds like, about a month worth of planning. And so we could do a whole lot better if we had planned a little bit more. So that's what we're doing. We're going to have our parish picnic. It'll be July 26th, a Sunday, which also falls on the feast day of St. Anne, so very appropriate to do it. We'll pray that it's sunny, but not quite as warm as it was this last time, because it was really hot. But we could do better. So we're working with the different organizations here and people at the school to say, great, your group, can you staff the drink table or whatever, or this one game, or that kind of thing? Because we do have stored all of the games and materials from the bazaar. So we're going through that, and the plan is that we'll take a couple of them and it's like, okay, this is a fun game. We're not going to charge money for it. I don't want the picnic to be a fundraiser. It's going to just be our parish gathering. And we'll have maybe the school run it and, a game booth or something. And we saw that there's bags of different prizes and toys and whatever. Like, great, let's give them out. Let's use those. And just to have fun. So it'll be a parish picnic with a couple extra things. So more information will come out about that. Okay. Our second big thing I need to talk about. We're in the midst of Archbishop Catholic Appeal season. So we talked about it a little bit last week. This week, we have a pamphlet with a little bit of information, an envelope at the ends of the pews. If we would pass those around to people. You know how this works. This is to help the Archdiocese. And similar to the Mission Support Center that I was talking about before, there's something about the Archdiocese that it also needs a lot of different things that are more behind the scenes. Some of it is very obvious, but a lot of it is just making sure things are run well. I've been very thankful as a pastor here and where I was up in the mountains that we have that, and we have specialists in different areas that I could call and say, I have this really strange situation I've never come across before, but something about it strikes me that if we do it wrong, it could be really bad. What should I do? And so they have people that work to make sure things run, but they also could share their knowledge in like the deep finance, the construction office. We've been working with, so they have a construction office to make sure that when parishes, for example, add on or build something new or have a big repair or our wonderful asbestos situation, we have some people that have done this a lot who could come and say, oh, watch out for this. Don't do this. We'll review the contract that your construction company was proposing to give some advice, that kind of thing. They also, part of this goes toward the Catholic Charities, which does tremendous, really beautiful, good work. Something that it's old now, but I thought was interesting. From my understanding, Samaritan House, which is in downtown Denver and serves lots of very needy people who are homeless, I've heard that it was the first homeless shelter or building dedicated as a homeless shelter in the country, or built for that purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. Most of the other times it's, well, here's an old building, we could renovate it and make it work. Catholic Charities several decades ago said, no, we need this. Let's just build something that will meet our needs exactly. So they have a wing to help men, they have a wing for women's dorms, they have a section just for families, so they have like real little apartments so at least the families can be in the same room together as they're trying to find better housing. There's some classroom space, they have a little clinic in there, offices, a large room to be used in different ways, but frequently as just a night shelter. Someone who's not part of the program, but it's going to be freezing outside, it's a place for them to sleep. That and more. That's where this goes for. We ask you, if you're able to make a one-time gift or a monthly gift. If this is something that you want to do, you could write it down here. It's also possible to do it online. There's a QR code on there. There's a website, all of those kinds of things. If you want to fill out the envelope, you could put it in the collection today or next week. It very much helps the Archdiocese. I support the Archbishop's Catholic Appeal every year. I send a chunk of money because I've seen how it is that they really help. Okay. Third thing, we need to get to Scripture. Lots can be said about this trip to Emmaus. I'm only going to point out two little things. It's beautiful. There's a lot here. We don't know much about who these people are. We know the name of one, Cleopas, and that name has come up one other place. Someone, Mary, wife of Cleopas, was at the foot of the cross. It may be the same one, very likely, but we don't know for sure, and that's it. We don't know anything else about this person. So we know Cleopas and one other person. We don't even know if it's a male or a female, but it's possible that it was a married couple walking back home. After they'd followed Jesus for a while, they were persuaded, yes, this is the one, he's the Messiah, beautiful things are going to happen, it's Passover, okay, he's starting to say real big things, it seems like it's coming to the point here, there's lots of stuff moving around, lots of threats, and then they captured him and put him to death. Oh, that's not what we wanted at all. What now? And they were confused and disturbed and puzzled, and then they heard that his tomb is empty. Some people saw him. That doesn't fit in how they understand the world. They don't know what to do. So they're walking home. We hear that they were conversing and debating. And in the Greek, it sounds like it's more than just, well, what do you think? No, I think this. It sounds like it might have been like a little bit of an argument. They're passionate about this. This was something that they deeply were invested in, and it didn't turn out how they thought. So lots of emotion involved. And this is when Jesus comes up alongside them. And I can imagine that they may not have been really happy that Jesus just interrupted their argument. You know how we sometimes do that? We're always like, no, leave me alone. I'm upset with this person. Let me focus on this. I'm reminded of a great phrase from G.K. Chesterton. He wrote something like, it takes 3 to make a quarrel. The full potentialities of human fury require a friend to tactfully intervene. I just love that. Someone just, I don't know, something about it is like, yeah, I like it. It's okay. So he comes up and asks, what are you discussing as you walk along? And they stop, looking downcast, and perhaps with a little bit of irritation in their voice, we hear Cleopas say, are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place there? Are you the only one that doesn't know what's going on? And we have to laugh here, and I imagine Luke, writing this gospel, had to laugh as well. He just said, are you the only one who doesn't understand what's going on? To the only person on the planet that understands what's going on. They're talking to Jesus, and they don't realize it. And Jesus, like, let me help. I think you're missing this. And he goes into this long Bible study, basically, about how the whole Old Testament was leading up to this point and was pointing to him, including his death and resurrection. He unpacked it for them. And he spent a lot of time with them. We don't know at what point he joined up with them, but it says about 7 miles from Jerusalem to Emmaus. They're walking. I feel like I walk pretty quickly. I would give myself at least 2 hours to do that walk. And if I'm going to be going kind of slowly, it will take even longer. And then he starts to have dinner with them. This is a good amount of time. This is hours that Jesus is spending with these 2 people. And that's my second point. Jesus decided that it was most important for him. This is on Easter Sunday. They're walking back home after being in Jerusalem for Pentecost. They're disturbed and confused and frustrated and whatever else. And they're walking home, and Jesus decides, rather than appear before all of the crowds, he's going to walk with them in their confusion and frustration and disappointment for hours. Many of us have also been hurt or are confused or disturbed or felt let down by the church. These 2 people left the community. They were with the disciples of Jesus, and now they're walking home. So if you have been hurt or disappointed by the church, first, I apologize. I know I've disappointed and let down people that have come to me for help. But also remember that Jesus chose to walk with these 2 people, just to spend time with them, to explain things to them, to listen to their frustrations and confusions. That's our God. That's who Jesus is. Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever.